On a Friday night from McKeon Park in Hyannis, Massachusetts, the Gatemen fall to the Hyannis Harbor Hawks, a final score of 8-6 on this Friday night. Welcome to another edition of the Gatemen Baseball Network postgame show on Cape League TV. Ethan, I'm joined as always by Kyle Marshak and Jesse Simmons. Guys, a tough one today for the Gatemen. They were down early, came back a little bit later on, but tonight just tough overall.
Yeah, for the most part, it was just the Hyannis baseball. They just were able to put up good hits early, make good plays in defense, get good calls their way. It was just their night all around. Gatemen kind of didn't get the calls they wanted there early on in the game and late when they needed most. It looked like it just was not their night.
Hyannis scored 7 of their 8 runs within the first 4 innings. Scoring early and often was the key. Now let's talk a little bit about some of the bright spots. Johan Desereau out of Stetson, his first home run for the Gatemen this year, a 458-foot bomb to right field. It was great to see that from him, Kyle.
Yeah, that's a bright spot for sure. He got a hold of that thing. It must have caught a jet stream or something, or maybe I shouldn't take away from his pop, right? He had 11 home runs at Stetson, and that thing flew over the trees, over the scoreboard and right, and just carried a solo shot, did some damage. Good to see him get his first home run.
Absolutely. Now, before we get into the late inning comeback, we'll hear from Ryan Smythe, who's standing by now with Madison Walker.
Thanks, guys. I'm Madison Walker. I'm here with head coach Ryan Smythe. So, Coach, let's talk about that 9th inning. We got 5 runs there at the end. We thought it was a loss. How did you get them fired up, get those bats going again? Talk to me about that.
I didn't have to do anything. They knew, hey, we wanted to fight till the end, make it a little interesting. Short ballpark, wind's flying out tonight. And we were squaring balls up all night. I give them credit. They made a hell of a lot of plays in the outfield. The center fielder ran into the fence, tracked one down. We hit a couple others in the gap that they tracked down that we hit really hard tonight. A couple of those fall. This could be even different. So we were hitting the baseballs pretty hard all night, and it started to cash in the 9th there. Just came up short. That's all.
By the 4th inning, the team had most of their runs. Hyannis did. Did the boys kind of lose any momentum, lose any hope, or did you kind of keep them rallying up so that way they didn't give up that early?
No, I think the 2 guys that kind of really rallied us there was Jackson Lucas and Faulkner. They gave us some length when we really needed it. Sloan came out early and Darden came out early. Didn't have their best stuff tonight, and we needed some length in the bullpen, and those guys stepped up huge. And I think guys that wanted the ball in that moment, and wanted an extra inning, that kind of fired up the hitters a little bit to, hey, let's get going for these guys. They're keeping us in this thing.
So going into tomorrow, home game, we got to get another win. We got to secure a win, get back on the win streak. How are you going to kind of turn over this loss and get them, back on track, hyped up?
You can use the last inning right there. We made that interesting in a game that was probably not a whole lot of people thought it was going to get interesting. We were 1 base runner away to bring the tying run to the plate. So I don't really have to do a whole lot. That tells me all I need to know. These guys don't want to quit. They like winning. They want to win. And even being down 7 in the 9th, to make it interesting and having the tying run on deck, that says all I need to know right there.
So I heard in the 9th inning a little bit of chanting going on. Can I know your favorite chant that was going on in that dugout? I loved all of it.
I try not to listen to anything those guys say. Some of it's funny, some of it's not, but we'll roll with it. Listen, it's all for our guys, which is awesome. It's not really back and forth with another team. Those guys are energetic in our dugout for our players, and that's awesome to see out here. And I'm certainly not going to shut that down.
Yeah, I love it. Well, thank you so much, Coach.
Absolutely.
Great stuff there from Madison and Ryan Smythe, and you heard it there from him, praising guys like Jackson Lucas and Jacob Faulkner. This team was short on arms later in the game, and they really carried with some innings eaten there.
Yeah, Braden Sloan only throwing 2 innings tonight, having to patch up and run guys out there, not anticipating on going out, especially Ethan Darden and others. It's good for this team, and it's a testament to how, solid they've been. Not just, we talked about hitting lineup, but pitching lineup as well, coming out of the bullpen with that rotation, being able to plug holes where necessary and be able to work. Like Jackson Lucas, love I haven't seen from him, Jacob Faulkner, everybody, it's been able to plug it when you need it for this team.
Absolutely. Now, the Gatemen were down 8-1 heading into the 9th inning with only 4 hits on their ledger, and they exploded for 5 runs and 5 hits in that inning. Bobby Bozer had himself a 3-hit night. Sam White came up big with a 2-run double in that frame, and then Jace Reinhardt out of West Virginia, his first home run in the Cape Cod League as well. That just goes to show you just how much this team has a penchant for coming back.
Yeah, well, you have two types of offenses in baseball. Ones where hits aren't contagious, and then ones where hits can be very contagious. Good hitters make good hitters, right? So when you have a couple kids step up, square some up, the rest are going to start seeing the fastball a little bit better, which was clearly coming out flat from Carbone, and then the same thing when they put Brown in afterwards. So it's really good to see that they had some fight offensively.
They did indeed 5 runs in that 9th inning, but ultimately the Gatemen come up just short here from McKeon Park. The final score for one more time, an 8-6 final here on this Friday night. Gatemen will return home tomorrow. They'll face the Brewster Whitecaps at Spillane Field, a 6 o'clock start time. The Gatemen fall to 11-5-1, and the Harper Hawks improve to 10-6-1 on this season. We'll talk to you tomorrow from Spillane Field, 6 o'clock, first pitch on the Gatemen Baseball Network, powered by Cape League TV.